congratulations, you are engaged. You have a ring on your finger, you are in love, and you are planning the biggest party of your life. It sounds so wonderful, but then you get down to the details and it's overwhelming. So at least for this small area of your wedding, the wedding veil, I'm going to give you an easy, stress-free roadmap. You will decide the perfect veil for you in literally just 4 steps. Step 1, define your bridal style. I want you to choose one word that describes you and your wedding. Are you having an elegant wedding? Maybe you're having a bohemian wedding. Maybe you're having a traditional wedding. Classic. What else is there? Chic, sophisticated, glamorous. The list goes on and on. I want you to choose just one word that is going to describe your wedding day. And all the decisions that you make for your wedding, whether it's the vendors you work for, the venue that you choose, it's all going to be filtered through this lens of the one word that you choose. Give this word to every vendor that you work with and their job will be a whole lot easier. They'll be able to deliver on what it is that you're expecting in a much better way. My professional tip as an expert in the bridal industry for over 10 years is don't cling too hard to whatever your childhood fantasy was of what your wedding day would be like. Maybe when you were a little girl or a teenager, you thought that you would have the Cinderella wedding, but maybe now that you're older, you want something that's a little bit more elegant, a little bit more timeless. Or maybe you never even thought of a wedding growing up. Wedding wasn't even on your radar. And now that you're getting into the planning, you decide you want to feel really special and you want something that's really glamorous, or you want something that's going to be a true happily ever after. Just don't cling too tightly to whatever your childhood fantasy was. Let it go. No matter what you choose, it's about more than how it all turns out. It's about you and your groom and the fact that you're committing your lives to one another. So step 1, that word that describes you and your wedding. Step 2, you are going to decide whether you want a long or a short wedding veil. Now, this is one of the biggest and hardest decisions in general. Sometimes brides know what they want, but most of the time they're on the fence. A couple of pros of a long wedding veil is it gives you that drama as you walk down the aisle. Another pro is that it makes for really amazing wedding photos. Another pro is that a long veil actually typically will allow you to show off a heavily detailed back to your wedding dress. So if you have, say, a bow at the back of the dress, or a low back, or a heavy lace detail, then a long veil means that you won't run the risk of cutting up the design of your dress in an awkward place. I know that seems counterintuitive because sometimes brides are like, I have a heavily detailed train, so I can't wear a long veil. But actually the opposite is true. A long veil gives you that very elongating effect and it doesn't cut up your wedding dress in any awkward places. Short wedding veils. I love short wedding veils. They have more of a fun, timeless, chic, modern feel to them. The pro is that they are easier to move around in. You can flip your hair all night long. You can literally wear it just from the ceremony straight to the reception and you won't even notice it's in your hair. I think that it is generally less expensive for brides who are on a budget and who want to save for other aspects of their wedding, so saving money is always a pro. Another pro is that it tends to work better for outdoor weddings. I'm not saying that you can't wear a long veil for outdoor weddings, but short veils are typically the way that a professional will recommend you go if you are in an outdoor setting that might be a little bit rough, that might have a lot of wind. If you want more details on what length might be right for your venue, then make sure to click on the link below. Step 3 in the process is to choose your wedding veil color. So it goes without saying that you need to choose your dress before you choose your veil. But now step 3 is matching your veil to make sure that it coordinates with your dress. In general, it is actually better to go with a veil that is slightly lighter in color rather than darker in color as compared to your dress For some reason, this just brightens up wedding photos. It tends to look better. So I would recommend either matching your veil pretty exactly to your dress or going just a little bit lighter to brighten up your whole look. If you want some free samples of my colors, including the off-whites, light ivories, and blush, then make sure to click the link below. But just keep in mind that my colors might be different than other designers because each designer has their own term for what ivory is supposed to look like. A professional tip that I have for you that might be a little bit different is that your veil doesn't actually have to match your dress exactly. You will even see brides adding the veil for a pop of color. So maybe they're wearing jewelry that has some sort of statement piece. Perhaps it has some blue that's from the blue of their wedding colors, and then they choose a veil that has blue on the bottom or some type of blue beading, and they're using that veil as a statement piece. So really the sky is the limit when it comes to choosing your color. It just depends on if you want something that's a little bit more streamlined or if you want something that is going to pop and really stand out. Step 4, this is my favorite step, you guys. I think it's going to be your favorite step too. This is the step where we choose the embellishments for your wedding veil. Whether it's lace or beading or ribbon or flowers, really, there is no limit to what you can choose, and this is going to be fun. Let's talk about some of the most common embellishments. Because whether it's understated or bold, a decorative finish is really the key to making your bridal veil a swoon-worthy masterpiece that elevates your wedding day look. So one of the most common embellishments is lace. I love lace. I love everything about lace. I hope you guys like lace. If not, I'm sure that I can forgive you. I will try my best. But one of the most common lace designs is something called Chantilly lace. This one's super soft, very almost see-through. This is the softest type that is available. It's delicate and very light and floaty. The other type of lace is called French Alençon lace, and this is a little bit heavier. It's obviously comes from France. It has cording and has a 3D textured effect. You also have more bold lace designs like a Venice lace. Oh, these are really pretty if you want a statement. Sometimes they look a little bit more bohemian, a little more eclectic because they have distinctive shapes and patterns. You don't have to go with lace though, okay? I told you I wouldn't judge you if you didn't like lace. So the other option is to go with a finished trim, perhaps something like a ribbon edge on your wedding veil. You can even do a horsehair, which is really fun. I'll show you a photo of this cascade veil with horsehair. You can even, if you are really minimalistic, you can choose something called a pencil edge. And a pencil edge veil looks like you take a fine white pencil and you just gently outline the shape of your veil on the edges. And this is basically just a small little thread that gets done and it polishes your whole look right up. Now, if you don't want lace, if a finished edge is a little bit too boring for you, then you can go with a beaded edge. You can go with a rhinestone trim. You can go with scattered beading throughout. It adds that touch of sparkle, and when the lights hit you, oh my gosh, it is really going to pick up that beading. This is especially good if your dress has a little bit of beading throughout, and then your veil will kind of mimic that beading on the edge. Now let's say you are really simple. You want something that is almost seamless and that just gives you that perfect finishing touch without distracting from you or your dress at all. Then you can go with a raw edge. This means there is no finish, and this has its own beauty. It will keep the focus on you and your face and your dress. It will keep the attention on like where it's supposed to be, which is on you and your natural beauty. If you want to claim your free wedding samples, I'm more than happy to ship them to you. Just make sure to click the link. This is Alicia from One Blushing Bride.